Welcome to The Real LLC, where we talk about lake life and culture. My name is Brittany Boscana, and I'm here with my brother, Jason Reisman.
Hey guys, thanks for joining the show today. We're really looking for leaders in the community, influencers, guys, or people women that you see on social media. And we got one of those people with us today. We got Rick Copley here today. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what makes you special, and why do we see you all the time on social media?
Everywhere.
I am so happy to be here, Jason. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. Gosh, I don't know. I own a business. I like to do fitness. I like to get out there and be part of the community. So I'm just excited to kind of share about our experiences, our businesses, things like that in here. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I'm super interested to find out, like, you're obviously all over Facebook and social media, super healthy. You have lots of things to offer to the community, but where did you come from? Like, where is this motivation that's led you to do all of this?
I'm one of those strange people that went to school for what I still do. I was actually went to University of Massachusetts, got a master's degree also in Colorado, and both of those degrees were in fitness. And I've always been there, always been in fitness, always appreciated being part of the fitness industry. I was always an athlete myself and a leader, and it just is kind of parlayed into businesses. And I've got that entrepreneurial spirit in me, comes from my dad. And I've always been wanting to help other people. And so those things just kind of melt together, and they've created a lifestyle for me that I've had for all my life. And I've always been in fitness, always loved it. And I appreciate the opportunity now with social media and avenues like this to help people and to share content, share value, and help people to live better lives and feel better and do more things.
Wow, when you talk about helping other people, sometimes we don't know what our real reach is. And so about that, like for me, I watch your videos, right? So I've gotten into fitness over the last 3 to 4 years. It's changed my life. It's helped me as a leader. It's helped me as, running the company. And I feel like when you're telling these fit roofers how to do their job and you're overweight and you can barely walk on the roof, it's not really the best place to do that. And so I felt like I needed to be a better leader, and you kind of inspired me also. So I think I thank you for that. And I don't know sometimes if people realize the reach that they have.
It's fantastic. Well, I appreciate hearing that. And just like any business, I mean, if you're trying to give financial advice and you're broke, that doesn't make any sense. So if you're leading a company, you should have vitality and charisma and energy and all that stuff. So yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate hearing that. And I do like that, because sometimes when you're, especially on social media, and you're putting content out there, you don't often get to see kind of how that works out in the end, right? You don't understand, did I help anybody? But glad to hear I helped somebody.
Well, let's take it a little step further. So like for me, you inspired me and helped me on my fitness journey. But then I started inspiring other people too with it, where like we do company competitions, or we'll do 5Ks as a company, or one of the things we like to do is a savage race. We'll all go and run a savage race together, and think about the people that leave that area and go out and inspire more people. So it's like a spider web. It just keeps going. And so I think it's really, really, really hard to understand how far that reach goes. And I feel like we've seen fitness grow a lot where we work at and with our employees and teammates, and it's helped us grow as a company. But there's a huge mental aspect to it too, where, I'm more able to do my job better mentally because of my physical fitness. And so I think you're changing lives in a huge, broad way that you don't even know.
Cool. I like hearing that. Thank you.
Yeah. So Brittany, how does that change your life?
Working out. First of all, for the record, I started before Jason. Perfect. And had to talk him into it. But I do actually notice a big difference. Like, I have kids. I have a 10 and a 13-year-old. I can still pick them up. I feel pretty strong. I may not look like it, but I don't know. Then I watch Jason. He always takes it up a level, and I have no competition in my body, so it just is what it is.
Yeah, so I live for competition, and so that kind of fills that void as far as working out, competing, pushing yourself further than what you think you can go. And I don't know if people in Lake County know that there's a lot here for them. Like, you do some coaching on some of that stuff. You can help people with your fitness. But the key is you can work out all you want. If you're not eating the right food, it's not going to make that big of a difference. That's one of the key ingredients. And that's something that you have a lot of expertise in. You have a company where you actually deliver food to people. You pre-cook the food. It's healthy. I know we use that service. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, my wife, Teresa, and I started the Fit Life Meals 4 years ago as a way to help. At the time, we owned a gym, and it was a way to help our gym members to eat better. So what I always teach people is that health, fitness, vitality, however you want to look at it, how well we're performing in life. There are various angles you have to look at. It's almost like a car. Like I just actually picked up some tires in my Jeep. You got four tires in your car, right? So if all four tires are flat, you don't just fill one up. You have to fill up all four of those tires, right? So you always have to look at the way you eat, so what you put in your body, how you move your body, and also mindset. So what you're doing at the podcast. This is actually part of health and fitness. By raising the vibration, so to speak, or raising the level of awareness, of thinking, of personal responsibility, and by doing it, by looking at what you eat, what you consume, how you move, how you think, look at those different areas, helps you to live with more vitality, more energy. It all goes together. So when we started the Fit Life Meals, it was just kind of us, like, oh, let's look at one of these angles, let's help some people. But what we discovered pretty quickly is my wife, Teresa, is an absolute genius, and she's super talented at meal prep. And she'd always done it, she always loved doing it, and when we started doing it, we discovered very quickly that people really loved the product that we had. And I've always kind of done a little bit on, I've always been in health and fitness, but I've also kind of delved into some of the technical aspects, like building a website, things like that. I've never been really good at those things, but I can do a little bit of a lot of things, right? So our skills end up working together very well. I decided that the customer service is going to be the best thing we have. I said, we're just going to do customer service. We're going to do things the right way. And she's like, I'm going to make the best food ever, right? So we combined those two things, and the business grew very quickly. And then a certain thing called COVID happened. All the restaurants closed down, and all of a sudden, a lot of people wanted what we had. And so our business just really exploded from there. And we had the business started 4 years ago, and now we're 700-800 meals a week. Started from insane. The first week we did 20 meals or something like that. We've grown steadily. We own a commercial kitchen now because of the necessity of, we want to do things the right way, from a business perspective. And again, I think, and I don't want to put words in either of your mouths when it comes to what you're doing with this podcast, but I think you want to promote doing things the right way. And you want to promote better living. Obviously we're talking about health and wellness here and eating right, but just better living all around, doing things the right way, legally, all that good stuff. So we always want to do things the right way, so you always have. So now we own our own commercial kitchen. We service the community. Our business has grown in leaps and bounds, and we're putting out a lot of food, but we do a really good job. And I'm not patting myself on my back because my wife does this, but she creates amazing meals, amazing food, and we do the customer service better than anybody. And we have created quite a business. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. We're excited to be part of the community. We're excited to bring our business to the community with opening the kitchen here right in downtown Eustis. So we're doing everything locally. We say we're the premier meal prep and delivery company, the premier local meal prep and delivery company, and I think we are. And we love doing what we do.
Is your kitchen like a commissary? Or
it's a commissary kitchen, yeah. So it's a shared use commercial kitchen. So we have lots of members that are food trucks, people that make syrups and jellies and spices and stuff like that have to have a commercial space. They do it out of outer space.
The only one in Lake County, I believe, right?
The only one in North Lake County. I believe there's one in South Lake County. But yeah, we're the only one around. So if you go on Google and type in commissary kitchen near me, we're the only ones that come up.
Okay.
I'm like super inspired right now.
Yeah. So, one of the things when you talk about food and prep, I don't think so I recently tried to do some of this on my own. I don't think people realize the amount of time it takes to do that and the expense to have really good food.
I think people do realize that. That's
what they call you.
That's why they don't do it. No, it's absolutely right. Like people, you could sit and go on a Sunday and spend 3 or 4 hours prepping all these meals, and it'll be great for you. You're going to save money. You're going to eat better. Everything's going to be awesome. But you're going to realize something very quickly. It's hard. It just takes time. Who wants to spend that much time, right? You're going to end up having a lot of times the same thing all week. Who wants to do that, right? So you may have this stuff, and you're just not going to do it again. Most people don't do meal prep more than once or twice, and then just fade back into the old routine of going out to eat, skipping lunches, buying too much food. And we've also discovered too, this is actually a relatively new thing. We'll have people that are, like, matter of fact, today, perfect example today, my wife's sister is having surgery. And so she's having shoulder surgery. And so they said, well, they enjoy cooking, but they aren't going to be able to make food. So they ordered meals for us so she could have some food to eat while she's recovering for her shoulder surgery. And we have older people that live by themselves. And we have so many different people that utilize the service that you that never even knew the service existed. Like, wait a minute, instead of having to struggle,
Right.
not eat or whatever, and they have the service. So, little things like that inspire us every day. I talk about being inspired. I'm inspired by people making good decisions and good choices. And by getting meals, pre-made meals, like put in the microwave, heat and eat, it's helping to change people's lives.
Yeah, it definitely changed my life when you have a baby at home, and it's really hard to take that time to cook. So what we would do is we would buy the food and we would put it in a pan, and we'd all eat. I think it took 2 of them; the whole family could eat, and it was really helpful with a newborn at home. But also, I mean, if you know a family that's having a newborn, instead of having to cook something, you can.
I think this
deliver.
is a great Christmas present.
Yeah.
Like, can somebody buy this
People
for me
do that.
for the week?
Well, actually, people do. We have several things. Like, we have people that are, bereavement is something that we've had. And I know this is kind of a little bit morbid, but stick with me on this.
Yeah.
People have a loss in the family. And people that are living far away, like, what can we do to help these people? They'll buy them a week's worth of food.
Wow.
And so we deliver a week's worth of food to them, and they don't have to worry about cooking. So
That's amazing.
incidentally, and so one of the things, like, as from customer service aspect is I'm always been a customer. How can I provide better customer service? We're always looking and asking our customers, hey, what else can we do to provide a service? Now, you may not know this, Jason, but a couple of years ago, when your wife Amber was ordering meals from us, she suggested to us, you should do kids meals. And we didn't do kids meals. I'm like, kids meals? And I said to my wife, hey, we should do kids meals. Within a couple hours, we had kids meals.
That's
on the
awesome.
menu. So
You're listening to the customer.
yeah, exactly right. Amber, you helped us and have created a great part of our business. But, we always listen to customers. I know it, as business owners and I know in real estate, you have to listen to what your customers want. And so in a business.
Or your wife.
When your wife, or your wife, yeah, especially. In a business like ours, because it's a relatively new industry, right? We were actually talking before we started recording, but in Yelp, there's not even a category for what we do on Yelp. And so it's a relatively new thing. So we kind of have to pave our way and figure it as we go.
How would you use Yelp? Like, would they deliver in the like? Could they order their meal that evening?
No. So the way our business works, and we have a meal prep model, and we've stayed with it ever since the beginning. We've never changed. We do meal prep on Sundays, so we deliver on Sunday afternoon, and that has set us aside from other companies because who wants to work on the weekends prepping everybody else's food, right? Which we do. For 4 years now, since starting October 2018, we have delivered food every single week for 4 years. Wow. We have not missed a single week. And we've done it on Sunday, every single Sunday. Now, I shouldn't say that. Let me back up just a little bit, pump the brakes. We've done a couple Mondays because we've traveled here and there, a couple Tuesdays, but we've always delivered every single week, and we've done it on Sunday. That model that we've stuck with it the whole time. We think that works. And again, it sets aside, but people go online. So if you go on right now, you can order meals, just put your order in. We process it starting at 5 o'clock on Friday. So anytime order before 5 o'clock on Friday, we deliver on Sunday. So it's a one-time per week thing. So no matter when you go on, they all can, we've got some orders in there now. We have a subscription model. Those all run through Friday at 5. And then at 5 o'clock on Friday, in the next 48 hours, we process, we make all the food, do that, and deliver on Sunday afternoons.
Wow. So while we're out playing, you're in cooking.
We've been working every single Sunday. And, my wife had ACL surgery this year. She had 2 other knee surgeries. I had knee surgery. I had a severe back injury a couple of years ago. But we have, we've always managed to make it work because, again, entrepreneurship, we're the owners of the business.
You have to.
Another thing that and this is a little off topic, but I want to say this because if it doesn't come up, I'll be remiss. I am extraordinarily proud to say that we employ people. And I think that's a really cool thing. Doing a business by yourself is great. We did it by ourselves for a couple of years, but we have a staff of like 10 people. And so we provide jobs to the community. And again, when you're talking, the local Lake County type stuff, we provide jobs. We got some high school kids. We got people that do deliveries for us, so people make a little extra money on the weekends. And I'm proud of that. I'm happy for that. And we're servicing people. We're helping people change lives. But I'm providing jobs. I think that's pretty cool. So that's one of the things that kind of inspires me about what we do is we're able to do that each week for people.
Yeah, so you're building leaders from within, and then it's also one of the key things is it's healthy food too. It's not just food; it's good tasting food that's healthy, and that's hard to come by. But yeah, hiring and employing people, that's a whole nother avenue as far as a business when you go from just yourself to that. And then empowering those people. I mean, that's one of the reasons we started this podcast, was to bring people on, number one, that are concerned about service, to be different, to be better, to service the customer, but then also to have employees that are making an impact on their life. A lot of times I like to call them team members, teammates, because I'm not always looking for employees. And that's one of the things that people go wrong. I'm looking for somebody who wants to be a teammate, team member, somebody that we can work together. And then having 10 people, I mean, that's a lot of people in a commercial kitchen. Or delivering, or just part of the process. It becomes a lot at that point in time, and that's awesome. And we're seeing that in Lake County. We're seeing leaders step up and grow companies and providing jobs for these young kids or people that need a job, but also like it's changing their life down the road. You're creating a leadership forum for them. But you know, like I said, I've seen your videos and it reached me in my fitness journey, but you're also helping people that are working for you.
Yeah, and we appreciate you being able to having that opportunity. And so you mentioned the healthy aspect. And so when you look at like eating food, you can go virtually anywhere and get relatively cheap food that's going to be healthy, right? I mean, you can go to a fast food restaurant, you can do any of that comfort food, right? We don't do that because, you know, when we started the business, it was really the main impetus in the beginning was servicing our gym members. So we owned a gym and we serviced the gym members with our meals. And that was really, and we wanted the people at the gym, they're trying to be healthy, they're working hard, they're spending money to be healthy. We wanted to add to that. And so when we designed our meals, everything we do, and we eat our meals. And my wife and I mean, she's going on 42, I'm going to be 50 here pretty soon. We want to have longevity. And we don't just want to live for a long time. And I think people get confused at health and wellness, like, oh, I just want to live forever. Mm-hmm. We want to live with vitality and energy. And so you want to continue to do things that you enjoy doing. You want to continue to give back, continue to employ people, you know, whatever it is you're doing. Want to be able to do that. So what we do, the food we make is designed for that. It's designed to accompany people's lifestyle, add to people's lifestyle, and help them to live better. And that's really what we're doing. And, you know, we're happy to be doing it for sure.
Wow. What a unique way to have a business. And it just is, it's huge because sometimes what you eat really is in your performance and how you work or how you change the industry that you're in.
I know. I'm super curious. Do you find this is helping people raise awareness of what they're eating or how to even provide for themselves? Like when you had a gym, obviously people are using their bodies and they need to refuel. Mm-hmm. But I find people don't really know how to eat. I mean, we grew up, our family as farmers. So, you know, our vegetables and everything, but that's not a normal thing.
True.
Right. Yeah. When we put together our meals, we make sure to balance them with great nutrition. So they're balanced out. The other thing we do is, and this has been very important because we get this question a lot. I've had this question literally twice today. You know, what are the macros in your meal? What are the nutritional content? And we provide all that on the website, on the as well as the labels. My wife puts all the meals in MyFitnessPal, which is one of the most popular macro tracking apps out there. So if you go on MyFitnessPal, type in the Fit Life meals and type in whatever the meal is, it'll pop up on there. So
wow.
People can track their macros that way. Yeah. So we are aware that a lot of people do that. So if people do that, we have that as a resource. If they don't, they're still going to get the right proportion of macronutrition and micronutrition in our meals when they eat their meals. And you know, as a fitness professional, macro counting is great. A lot of people get great results from it, but not everybody wants to do that. So that's kind of why we try to design the meals healthier with healthier content. And we also have, you know, people can just buy vegetables, people can just buy meat. There's a lot of different options to have, but we have all these options are really just to help people to save time, save money, at the same time improve their lives. And that's really what we're focusing on doing, everything we do.
Yeah, no, I mean, you need to go to the grocery store and I see these people filling up their carts with TV freezer meals.
Yeah, we've all had those, right?
That can cost more money.
Absolutely.
And in the long term,
not
health.
good, right? Like in long-term health, right? Like that's what I'm seeing is like you're changing almost the ethos of the community on, hey, this is convenient, this is quick, this is healthy. I've done all the work for you, and I'll even deliver it into your fridge if you have one in the garage.
Not every
can do that, but not everybody. But
that's
yeah,
an extra charge.
We will do that. It's not an extra charge. We try again, customer service.
Again, Amber probably it was like, hey, I have a fridge. It's probably perfect.
Yeah. So I think what people, you know, might be missing out is when you're buying those frozen foods from the store, then all of a sudden you cause health problems and you're on all kinds of medication that causes other problems, and it can be way more expensive than
Yeah.
just eating healthy.
Well,
and
hey,
he provides that.
The truth is, time is money, right?
Absolutely.
Time is money.
One of the things that, and there's a lot of different things that people do, but a lot of times people overbuy food. And if you're just cooking for 2 people, even if it's a family, you buy all this food.
Costco.
I've done it. Look at my refrigerator. What is this? How long has this been here, right? And you're throwing away stuff. And so we try our best to organize that so people don't have to throw away food. So we're just kind of helping people. We're kind of walking alongside them, and empowering them. But health and fitness, again, like kind of when I talk about vitality or whatever we want to look at it, it's really about lifestyle and decisions on the daily, right? So you make good decisions every day. Not great decisions, right? It's not 100% perfect all the time. Oh, you can't ever have sugar or fat or whatever. We try our best to make good decisions all the time, as opposed to really good decisions some of the time, and then bad decisions some of the, So in the fitness, it's the same way. I don't believe that someone should be obsessive about working out every single day, but I also don't believe that you should not exercise for 2 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 8 years or whatever, which people do.
Absolutely.
I think people every day should do some sort of physical fitness. You should be intentional the way you eat, looking at your macro and your micronutrition. In other words, how much you eat and the quality of what you eat. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? And mindset, and that's kind of the missing link. I think most people, they don't realize you should work on self-improvement, right? You should work on motivating yourself, doing things that are positive, take responsibility, little things like that. And if you work on all those things together, and you get little chunks of results all the time, as opposed to like if you know you need to lose 100 pounds, you shouldn't be trying to lose 100 pounds in 3 months, right, or 6 months, whatever. You should try to lose a couple pounds every few weeks. That way you're moving in the right direction, and always develop that lifestyle. And then when you lose the weight you want to lose, don't stop doing what you're doing. Keep doing those things. I always, in fitness, I've often seen, and I've seen this more than I care to admit, but people that want to get in shape for something, right? Whether it's a family reunion or it's a cruise or something. Oh, I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to look great. And then you do, and then what? And then you stop, right? I always believe in always looking at your lifestyle, always making little changes, little tweaks, and moving in the right direction all the time.
So I look at that. Yeah. So that has been a big one for me. And the way that I put it is the way that you do one thing is the way that you do everything.
Absolutely.
And so I felt like if I wanted to be a leader or a professional, I needed to do that in my fitness and my life. I needed to represent that. And I felt like it would help people around me, including myself, be better. And man, it really has. Long journey. It's a lot harder than you think, and it takes a lot more time. Even though I outdid my sister, she quit a long time ago.
No, I didn't quit. I still work out. I think it's funny because I got divorced, and I was like, well, I'll show him. So I started working out.
Not a great motivation.
Not necessarily,
Not the best,
but that was 5 years ago now. I'm still doing it. Now, do I eat, breathe, and sleep it? Absolutely not. Does my brother now? Yes. It's that weird. Look, I inspired you.
Well, I was thinking for marketing thing here, you could get with a good lawyer. Every time there's a divorce, they hand out your card.
There you
and
go. There you go.
You could help them on that process.
If you want to look at like one metaphor, one way to look at your health, look at it in relation to money. Okay, so if you want to have a lot of money, you don't just have a lot of money. Like, oh, let me get $1 million. You're going to invest a little bit at a time. You're going to always spend money, but you have to watch what you spend. So you save and earn more than you spend, right? And people, if you think about what people do in fitness, they go out and they eat a bunch of food they shouldn't eat. They don't exercise. They don't get enough sleep. They do caffeine, whatever, all these different things. They overdo. That's just going into debt. Just going in debt. And if you're in a lot of debt, you have to just chip away at that debt day after day, and eventually you'll have money. Then you add money, save money, invest money, and eventually be rich.
Man, you have a way of explaining things
Fitness
that
is the same.
retires.
Fitness is the same way. I've been thinking about this all my life. Again, this is what I've been doing all my life. Like literally from the day I was a little kid, I've always been an athlete.
Okay.
I was an elite athlete when I was younger. Not anymore. I've been trying for a lot of years, but some knee problems finally caught up with me. But I've always kind of thought about this, and there's moments of solitude, so to speak, when you're working out or you're running or biking. You're always thinking about, okay, how can I, and I've had some health crises in my life. I have asthma, and most people don't know this. I don't talk about it a lot, but I have asthma. And there was a time in my life I was an endurance athlete, and I was competing at a high level. And all of a sudden, boom, asthma. I couldn't do anything. And I had to go about figuring out, okay, what do I do? Do I take drugs the rest of my life? Or do I figure out what's causing this and take care of it on my own, which I did. Research, figured out why. Figured out I'm allergic to wheat. It was causing asthma. So I stopped eating pasta every single meal, like literally every single meal, because that's what we were taught right back in the 80s. Like, oh, you need to have pasta as distance runner. But, and by that, and I just did a lot of research, learned a lot about the body, learned a lot about health and wellness. And so by doing all that, I've kind of learned a lot. So I'm always thinking like, how can we relate this? And I think I understand kind of how to teach health and wellness. I understand what we're all doing wrong. Just getting people to listen is always the challenge.
Man, I think that's leadership right there. Leadership 101 is, you know, like for me, I had challenges in my life, but I didn't let that build who I am. I actually, you know, I used to work in NASCAR, and there was guys that were way smarter, but I would outwork you. And it actually helps, you know, find another path to the success that you're looking for. So you didn't just stop and say, hey, I can't do this sport anymore because of my asthma. You found a way around it. And I think that's what defines a real leader.
It's a lesson in fitness, right? And so as an athlete, I think I had some of my best endurance years after I learned I had asthma because I paid more attention. But it's in fitness, or it's in, that's what I said, it's in fitness, but it's also in the work environment as well. You know, as an entrepreneur, sometimes you face challenges and you have to just figure it out. There was a time fairly recently, a few weeks ago actually, where we had our help just didn't show up, right? So we had two kids got sick and a new person got confused, whatever. So we were staring down the barrel of having to do a lot of work with no people. And we couldn't do it. Like, there's just no physical way to do 700 meals with 3 people, right? And so you hit those challenges, and we've all done it. You've probably had it. You probably think of the moments, oh yeah, I remember when that happened to me. But you have to, okay, what can you do? You know, just put one foot in front of the other and just work. And what ended up happening with us is I reached out, got someone to come in. My wife's sister, the one who's having surgery right now, or this morning had surgery. She came and helped us, you know, drove from New Smyrna to help us, but people kind of helped us out and we got it done. But the point is this, there's always going to be those challenges in everything we do, fitness, in life, business, and you have to, first of all, the buck stops here, right? And that's always kind of my thing, like, well, hey, someone's got to do this, right? But the buck stops here, you get to work harder than anybody else. You know, if you're going to be a leader, work harder than anybody else, be there earlier, be there later, whatever it takes. And you inspire other people and get other people to help. You know, look for help. That's one lesson we learned. It took us a while to learn that, but we need help in our business. But in all those aspects of life, if you want to be a leader and you want to have success, you do have to be willing to do that. And you know, and having asthma and losing my endurance career was hard, but I had to figure it out. You know, and I did, and it took a lot of research, took a lot of time. But I came back from it, and I broke my leg back in the day, and I've done all kinds of different things, all these challenges, but just fight through them.
I want to tell you something about challenges. So same thing with us as a business. Some of the most challenging times that we've ever had where you're like, I don't know how I can make this happen. But when you come out of it, you're way better than you ever were before. And actually you have new improvements or things that change the way that you do things that actually make you way better. So you always have to look for that light at the end of the tunnel. You know, there was a time where I lost a ton of employees when I first got started, and it inspired me. Instead of making me frustrated, it was, you know, another company that was paying them under the table and all this other stuff. And it made you, instead of like wanting to, you know, do something to that person, I was like, I want to be better so this doesn't happen again. And here we are with 150 employees later on. And that one event helped change everything for me. I just changed the way that I hired, changed the way that I gave people a better shot, but it inspired me. And I think that's the same thing. But it came out better in the end. You know, touch more people, have more of an influence, that's not going to happen again. Like, I learned from it, you know?
I think I know there's a quote out there. I don't know what it is, but it basically goes like this. Like, if you want like what the people have, that, you know, you're looking at like a leader of a business or a leader in fitness or whatever it is, most people aren't willing to go through what they went through to get where they are. Mm-hmm. Most people are like, oh yeah, I'd love to, you know, be one of the top people in the Fit Life Meals, or own the Fit Life Meals, or own a gym, or win the marathon, or whatever. But they don't realize, like, you don't see, it's like that iceberg thing. You don't see what's below the water. You don't realize what people have had to go through. And so, to the message out there, so if you're like an aspiring leader and you want to be a leader, you're like, hey, I want to be a leader. I want to be a leader in whatever it is you're in. Be prepared for more challenges than you understand or know what it's going to be like. I used to be a triathlete, and that's one of the things it is, an endurance athlete. And I remember very specifically, this is a weird example, but it's very specific, a day, this is a long time ago, but it was a winter day here in Florida, and it was cold. Cold for Florida, yeah. No, but it was cold. It's like 52 degrees and pouring rain. And I knew I had a bike ride today. I had like a 3-hour bike ride. And I went out the door for this 3-hour bike ride knowing it was going to be cold. But I remember being out there being like, I did not expect it was going to hurt this much, right? And I remember just being very much suffering. And I've always thought about that moment. It's like, hey, sometimes things are going to be hard. But you just got to realize, okay, this is hard. It's going to get harder. It's going to be 10 times harder. But you just got to fight through it. And so, that's what leaders are able to do.
I think it's interesting when you talk about fitness. Like, I really did start working out with a personal trainer when I got divorced. And it was really, it was a little bit probably for the bad intentions. But, I actually started to love it because I was finding myself again. And not only that, but I started at 2 days a week, then I did 3 days a week, then I did 5 days a week. And at the end of the day, I kept showing up for myself. And in exactly like life, right? Like you start your workout, it's going to be really hard and you get through it and you're so freaking proud of yourself. And then you go do it again and again. And then every time I show up for myself, I feel better about myself. And it got me through probably one of the darkest parts of my life.
Which we've all been in, right?
But yeah, here we are. Yes.
Who doesn't have a dark part of their life? I certainly understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird how it correlates together,
Well, you can push yourself farther than you
have to.
think.
Yeah.
That's been a big one for me is like my body's telling me I can't do it anymore, but you find a way.
Yeah. And then really, I only do it like 2 days a week now, but it doesn't matter. I still see the differences in myself from starting it even 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I'm still stronger than I ever was. I still feel better than I ever did. And I have more confidence in myself. And, even for what I'm going through now, it's a reminder, you can get through this. It's just hard.
Yeah. And I like to say this too, here in Lake County, look at how inspiring, starting your own business right here, especially in fitness is really cool, but there's opportunity everywhere around you. It's just, are you going to put the work in?
Yeah.
100%. I think my example is a pretty good one for most people because, when I started in this industry, this wasn't an industry. This wasn't, there was a few companies out there, but we kind of had a vision for what we wanted to do. And I think one of the messages I want people to get is that you don't have to follow in the footsteps, the Me Too type businesses, right? Like, oh, someone else does that, so I'm going to start that. If you have an idea, work it. I never realized we've been doing the volume of what we're doing, making meal prep. Who would have thought that? But it was just one of those things. Hey, we're going to work this and we're going to fight for it. And we did. We just kept fighting. And that's what you got to do, no matter what you want to start. And what's a cool opportunity that I have owning a commissary kitchen is I have potential business owners coming to me all the time. They want to start a business I had a young gentleman who is autistic. He wanted to start a business with hot chocolate. Like, oh, cool. Okay, let's do it. I gave him some motivation. I tried to help him out as much as I could, but just getting started, young kid,
Wow.
early 20s, but he wants to start a business. I'm like, all right, cool. And I see a lot of people like that. And I always try to tell them kind of what we're talking about here. It's like, this isn't easy, but it can be worth it at the end, because you're doing something, you're starting something. And so, I appreciate this platform here to kind of highlight a lot of these local type of people and businesses that are starting right here. Starting right here in Lake County.
Good old Lake County.
And who knows where they could go? They might be, who knows where you're going to see the Fit Life meals in a couple of years. I don't know. But right now, it's Lake County. We're pretty much dominating this region. And again, it started from just an idea. And that's what virtually any business can do.
But not, one of the things that's interesting, but you also did the marketing different too, right? So you went out and did your own marketing instead of hiring somebody to do it. But, you're really going out on a limb. It can be really scary making a video. For me, when I first did it, it wasn't easy. And I don't think people realize when you start posting videos of yourself on social media, that can be a challenge and you get used to it and you get better. But I think, not only have you created this business that's really unique, but you also had a unique way to market it. And I think that is one of the coolest parts about it. And it's a way that me and you connect because I do the same thing. I found a different way to market that you're not seeing in our industry. And now you're starting to see it and you probably see it in yours too. But you really had a unique approach to the marketing side of it.
Always leading with value and providing value for people and helping people. And when you do that, when you offer goodwill first, that's when it kind of comes back to you. And we've utilized a lot of social media, mostly Facebook, and has spent very little money on marketing, very little. And most of what we've done is just been word of mouth, goodwill, providing content, getting people to know who we are. I've had multiple instances where I've met someone and they said, what do you do? I own the Fit Life Meals. Oh, I've heard of you. I'm like, really?
Yeah, but
You know?
you're not selling. That's what's different. So you're talking about knee surgery and how this certain fitness, you're giving valuable information which leads people to your site to see what you do, but you're not actually selling something. You're giving information.
That's what marketing is in this day and age. Marketing, the people that are successful at marketing lead with content and value first, and they build goodwill. And so, the cost, so to speak, of what they're putting out is more than what they're getting. So they're not expecting anything. But if you take some time, put time into something, and then what's going to happen is you build goodwill, you build reputation. People will start to know, like, and trust you before that. Then when it's time for them to order meal prep or get a roof quote, they're going to reach out to you because they know you already. And so that's what social media has been. A lot of people don't understand that. I've done some trainings and stuff for my networking groups on this, and some don't get it because they just think that, oh, I'm going to put my thing on social media, people are going to buy it. But it's not that. It's about building relationships almost before they go to order from you. So that's what we've done, and we've been by doing that, we've created customers that kind of do the same thing, right? They're going to order from us, and they'll say, wait a minute, I'm going to tell my friends, and that's how you grow a business organically in an area like Lake County. Is you've got to build a good reputation, and we have a bunch of reviews on social media or Google and on Facebook. No negative reviews, a bunch of good reviews. By getting things like that, it just helps to spread the word even more. So
Love it.
Wow.
All right, guys. Well, I'm going to think this is going to wrap it up. This is something that we could talk more about if you're into fitness, if you're into, getting
Well,
some
tell
meals.
them, how do you get these meals?
Yeah.
we do everything online at our website,
Okay.
thefitlifemeals.com.
Well, we're going to throw a link up so you can click
Yeah.
the link and go directly to his page. And this is, we're talking about how can we make Lake County better and how can we influence? And this is exactly the way to do it. You can't do it any better than fitness, health. We're talking about food that's healthy for you. So that's a wrap here for the Real LLC, Lake Life and Culture. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Rick, for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you, Brittany.